Ooh, wrong names, returns from the dead, and 2 Mrs. DiMeras. We're breaking it all down for you right here on AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days, starting now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, all of you Days of Our Lives fans? Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days, where we give you a full recap of NBC's #1 hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Oh, how we missed that theme.
So love that.
nice.
It literally lowers my blood pressure.
Was it high?
does. Like when I'm watching the episodes.
Yeah.
Was it high? Yeah, whenever I sit next to you.
Ha! Was that a dig?
Well, I don't know. Do I stress you out? Anywho, I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by my full gaggle of gals. We have, to my far left, the social media wizard of us all.
Michael Mattis, how are ya?
And our new girl in town.
Hey girl.
Hello, I'm
OC in
Chelsea
the house.
Overrocker. Yes, CO. Yeah, I like it.
CO from the OC.
Oh.
No one's ever said that to you?
I know they have, but every reaction just keeps getting better and better.
I like it. And of course, lovely in blue.
Hi everyone, Tammy Gouveia.
Which I'm sure if you are a lover of soaps, you just saw Miss Tammy Gouveia and my chocolate twin, James Lott Jr., giving you a whole breakdown of this exciting week of Bold and the Beautiful.
It was insane.
If you haven't already, make sure you check that out. Also, if you are a lover of other soap operas, make sure you check out our other recaps. We have Restless Rap for Young and the Restless and GH Report for General Hospital. And if you are watching live, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and also follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram and _Dishin Days on Twitter. The @ is always implied. And if you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify or wherever podcasts are heard, I almost said played, whichever, make sure you give us a like and a comment and 5 stars, because we enjoy reading about what you like about this wonderful little wacky show about Days of Our Lives.
Wacky indeed.
All right, and of course, coming up later in the show, we have the boss bitch herself.
Seriously.
Miss Camila Banus will be joining us live to talk about all the shenanigans of Stabby and Miss Gabby Hernandez. And of course, you know we're going to play a little game with her called Como se dice? Oh my God, that has to happen just like that.
Perfect.
Where's my margarita?
All right, so before we get started, the DOOL app, if you haven't downloaded the DOOL app yet, make sure you check it out. It is available for iPhone and Android. It's a wonderful app that shows like behind the scenes interviews and things like that, so make sure you check it out. But this week, they premiered a digital series, Chad and Abigail in Paris.
Howdy, wee wee.
So basically, this is a digital series to kind of show you exactly what's happening with Chad and Abigail as they are in Paris, which leads up to their return to Salem. They have shown the first 3 episodes so far. We took a gander at them, and what do you guys think about this digital series?
I wasn't sure what to think about it at first.
Yeah.
It's like, really, what's the point? But it was
That's my
actually,
biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like, what's their, like, was it just a way to get Chad and Abigail back on the scene
On the
before
landscape for a
on the
while?
landscape because they're such a popular couple? Was this the way around waiting until October, November, where they start airing on the regular show? Or I was maybe thinking like, oh, it's more sponsors to get more money in, like, but there was no ads or anything on it.
Right.
So, or it's just a way to get people on their app, you know?
This is what I think it is. You know how, and we've done this show for many a years or weeks, and there's always a moment where something is mentioned, but it happened off camera, right? And I think now what they're doing is all the stuff that they would have mentioned when they returned, we're actually seeing. So all the off-camera stuff, they're showing us that. So when I went into it with that mindset, I was like, okay, I can fully accept this series, because then when they come back, it's almost like they don't have to explain.
Right.
Oh,
There's no flashbacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like if you've paid attention to the series, which I'm pretty sure they're still gonna like explain it, but if you pay attention to the series, it's like you already know certain things.
And kudos to Days for coming up with this concept.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's great for the fans. It's another option.
I like that it's like short, digestible.
Exactly.
Like,
It's only 6 minutes.
easy to watch. Easy to watch.
It's like we already have, you know,
way too much to watch.
much to watch and process
5-hour-long
and talk
episodes,
about. So I appreciate these little nuggets.
I think too, like kind of what you mentioned, Tony. I agree with you on that, because they're bringing in like back Austin Reed is in the picture again.
I know.
And we
I just hit your heart.
remember Abigail's past with Austin, right?
Yeah,
We all remember that. Yeah,
and they're reminding us of that point. But I think they're going to bring kind of that plot back into it, and who knows? In November, I think Austin might make a return back to Days, and then that could get into the whole Carrie and Rafe, because he did bring that up, saying, "Oh, she slept with someone, but I don't know who she slept with." I think that's preparing us going into what's going to happen in November around the holidays. So I think that could be a next plot, possibly that could happen.
Yeah.
But I will say really quick,
that Austin Peck looked good.
he looked amazing.
Look
I had
good.
a huge crush on him back in the day, still do. But it's funny because they get into like this serious moment, and then the ending, I just love it because it just zooms in on their face. It goes to Austin, then when Chad walks, it goes to Chad, and then it goes back to Austin. And I'm thinking, wouldn't that be cool if we did that on our show? Like Tony said something, goes to Tony. Michael said something, goes to Michael.
Make it more dramatic.
Do Ryan
Yes.
keynotes, but
Okay.
you know, but no, I thought it was kind of a fun little app. 6 minutes. It's nothing that's going to take up your whole day, just to kind of get you into what possibly might happen in November.
Yeah.
You know, and if they're going to come up with more storylines for these little nugget stories, I think they should have the two Mrs. DiMeras.
Oh, yeah.
There needs to be a little show all about
The three
two-
Mrs. DiMeras when Abby comes back.
Right. There you go.
We're ready.
There you go. Days, are you listening?
I know, we're writing it for you. Free writing. Come on.
So, but before we dive into this week's episodes, with these little nuggets, is there a character that's off the canvas now that you would like to see them create a digital series for?
EJ.
Like his
And Sandy.
his recovery.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see more Lucas. I miss Lucas.
I do
I miss
too.
Brian Datillo.
I do too.
He's such a staple of the show.
Yeah.
I feel like he deserves
That's a good one.
presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chelsea, you have one?
I know they just showed them, but I want a little bit more. I still love my Sean and Belle, and I only got like a little snippet of them when they were back with Claire, but a little bit more, like, you know, with Belle's job. And it seemed like kind of Belle and Sean are still struggling a little bit when, you know, when they're trying to get a hold of her. I know she was like on a flight and stuff, but I think there's still some storyline there. So I don't know.
I'm thinking Theo in Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or Paul.
Yeah.
That would be
Okay.
Francisco in his
great.
recovery.
Agree, 100%.
Yeah.
That would
And
be
his physical
awesome.
therapist.
Who he's broken up with and now
Maybe
is
that actor,
available
Tony.
to
Maybe
meet.
that actor's not available anymore.
If you guys,
I'm putting it out there.
If you guys remember the physical therapist, that's go to my
That's the
Instagram.
football
There's a whole
player.
story about it.
Oh my God.
We'll be sure to rehash it, but y'all tried it. But it was I think those two would be great, and I think it'll be nice just to kind of have reminders of these characters while they're off the canvas. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So. Days, if you're listening, there we go. All right, now we have much more to talk about. It's now time to dive into the week. It's time to start Dishin Days.
Okay. Ta-da!
She does her own sound effects now.
One less thing for you to do, Ryan.
Oh, boy. All right, so let's get into this whole Cricole, Tony, Stefan, Gabby, Mr. Shin, and all the
So
people.
happy to see Mr. Shin. Was this the first time we've ever seen him?
No,
he
he pops in every now and then.
When Kate and Sammy, I think, were trying to take over. I know we
okay.
saw him then, and I feel like he's been in the picture
It's
before.
the same
too.
actor.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah, this
like
was
him.
great. I loved this how the way everything played out with that storyline this week with
was
Chris
fantastic.
Cricole taking Brady to Chicago, getting Tony, we know it's Tony, to kind of put his feelings for Anna aside and go with Kristen's plan. Kristen revealed herself. Just the way it all, and the simultaneous weddings and everything, it was great.
You know what was a lot of fun to watch was last week when Teo and Leanne were here. Teo spoke about the physicality choices that he made for Tony. Coming off of having been impaled, there's physicality involved that he incorporated into the character. So watching him this week, there were moments where he clutched his chest and his breathing. I think, oh my God, he talked about
doing
that.
Yes.
This is so
I have
cool.
a question that I couldn't remember. Did Tony take the serum?
I don't think so.
Was it explained how he's alive again?
They just said Dr. Ralph.
Dr.
And
Ralph.
I'm
Kristen.
assuming he was dead.
Are we just right? Because he got
Right?
impaled.
He was impaled.
You don't
That's-
easily recover from
That's
that.
as dead as you can get.
So, are we just supposed to? If it wasn't covered on the show, and I'm not forgetting anything, are we just assuming that he took the serum?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Not the serum. Not the medicine that makes you remember.
No.
It's the needle that brings you back
Brings
to
you
life.
back to life.
But,
Yeah.
but Tony didn't lose his memory. Everybody
Correct.
else so far that has done not the memory serum, but the whatever's injected to bring you back to life, has so far had a memory problem that Tony doesn't. He remembers his love for
remembers
Anna. He
everything.
remembers everything.
Yeah.
So that's what made me question, as I was driving here, actually, did he take? I don't remember them mentioning if he took
Serum?
not taking, maybe taking the serum so he got his memory.
Yeah,
back.
that's interesting. If people have been injected with this serum that brings them back to life and it's given the side effect of loss of memory, Tony's the only one so far that hasn't had that side effect.
Right.
Right?
Well, maybe the needle affects people differently.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that Will
that
and Jack.
unstable.
Yeah, Will and Jack were the two that didn't have their memory.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, just a thing with open arms.
And if EJ ever makes it back on the canvas, we'll see.
You love
He's
yourself
got,
some EJ,
I
don't you?
do. I love
Love
James.
EJ.
What's the original?
James
character?
Scott.
James Scott.
Oh my living
He is-
word! He's so delicious forever.
Yeah. Big ups to James Scott wherever you may be.
We love you always.
Can I just say I enjoyed the moment when Nicole calls Tony. And she's like, oh, yes, hi. And he's like, oh, is this the part where we know about the plan? And so he's on the other end having a completely different
And I like
conversation.
this. It was this.
It's not this,
speaking
but it's just this.
That was great.
And it's just, oh, is Brady there? Let me talk to him. I totally can fool him. I've been working on this. And it was like that whole interaction. And she's just still on the phone. Yes. So if you can just give me I know it's going to. And I was just like, there are two different conversations going on, which are hilarious because she's trying to keep it together. He's on the other end like, bitch, tell me what this is the plan. Okay, well, let me try to. Throw me in the game, coach. What's happening? Well, just to let you know, while you're going with this plan, I don't feel 100% comfortable, but we're gonna go with it.
And that was the point. The phone call was entertaining.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm thinking, why is she calling him? Because she's almost giving him a heads up, we're going to head your way. And he could screw over, which he almost did.
Yeah.
So if she shouldn't, I don't know why she called him, because she could have just shown on his doorstep and he would have not known that she was going to be there.
But this was
Element
part
of
of the
surprise.
Brady story.
Yeah.
Convincing Brady.
Yeah,
But also making him aware of the plan.
Yeah.
Because she didn't fully go into all the details. That's why he was like, "Oh, is this the plan?" And then
okay.
she's telling
That was
him,
very good. You sounded just like Ted.
"Oh, is this the plan?"
I'm going to be proud of you.
Thank you, Teo, wherever you are watching, I'm sure. But it was. I think that was her way of saying, "Okay, we're coming. This is the story that we're gonna tell."
And it was hysterical when she's telling Tony, here's what I want you to do. Here's how we're going to get DiMera back. And he said, so how are you what are you going to tell Brady? Where did I come from? What are you going to tell him? She's like, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
And I was saying the same thing. What story are you going to come up with?
It's just, although I'm kind of with Tony, he's going with it, but it's just kind of it's not really that believable on
so
Nicole's
incestuous.
end.
It's just
Oh yes, and the fact that she's married to her brother now.
Yeah.
Okay,
So soapy.
Back in the day, Tony and Kristen got married. I'm still confused because years later it was rewritten that was actually Andre. So are Tony and Andre, who are their parents? Because Kristen's an adopted DiMera. She does not actually have DiMera blood. So so Tony and Kristen getting married isn't technically incest, but it kind of is because the storyline is they grew up together and had a connection. But they did get married once, so it's not entirely implausible that they get
Okay, so
married
that's where
again.
I was confused. So Kristen has never been blood related.
Kristen and her
Correct?
brother Peter Blake. Kristen Blake and Peter Blake were adopted by Stefano after he presumably killed their mom.
Okay.
But then the mom was alive. She came back. It was a whole thing.
Then I'm good.
Yeah, there you go. You're all caught up.
I'm good.
That's, yeah.
I want to give a shout out, and Tammy, you gave a shout out, I think, in the chat to Ari.
Yes. Yeah, you mean, okay, so, and I actually did a little Instagram, like I recorded that scene when she sees her plan is working, that scene.
She sees her plan is working,
Yes.
and then on Friday when the plan blew up in her face, just Ari brought it this week.
Holy
She was
mackerel.
Every scene she was
awesome.
in was just like, I was just like, I'm in awe of this woman right now.
Well, this harkens back to when Stacy and Paul came into the, for the interview, and Stacy talked about how she and Ari kind of talked about mimicking each other, physicality, mannerisms, and Stacy watching Ari work, going, "Oh my God, that's exactly what I would have done or what I would have looked like." And there was that scene where, I think it was on Friday, where Cole is sure her plan's gonna win. She's gonna take over DiMera, and I'm watching Ari play Stacy or Nicole play Kristen, and thinking, oh my God, she's got Kristen, Stacy's mannerisms down, just down to the vocal, because Stacy has a very wide vocal range. She's up here and then she's down here, and I was just in awe of it. So much fun.
Especially towards the end when she just walks out and she's like, unbelievable! I'm like,
She went out
Stacy right there, that's
screaming.
Kristen.
Outrageous is what she said.
Oh, outrageous.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
And I only know that's what she said because when they got in the, okay, so at this point what we're talking about is now Stefan and Gabby are married,
Right.
And Mr. Shin is there, and it looks like she's the only Mrs. DiMera. Nicole comes in and presents Tony, who at first everyone's like, Andre, and he goes, no, it's Tony, and I'm like, okay.
And can I just say, Tony's official first appearance in Salem, like I literally got goosebumps. Because he's been in Chicago.
Yeah. Oh,
but
yes.
this, Thursday or Friday was the first time we saw him. He's in Salem. Like, I think it was the town square.
Town Square was
the first
Everything
moment.
happens at the town
It's just
square.
like, oh my God, he's back.
Yeah. And then all that is going down, and then when Mr. Shin as they argue over
Drinking his
who
scotch
should,
in the back.
he's like, this is way too much. And as they do their compelling arguments as far as like who should be CEO, Mr. Shin determines because Stefan decides, strip me of everything, my assets and everything. I'm going to give it to my wife.
Yeah.
And
Which was Gabby's idea.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. And Mr. Shin goes, all right, you're the new CEO. Cole was not having that and was like,
She was getting physical.
and I don't know if you guys heard it, but she was like, don't you dare put your nails in my face and all this kind of stuff. And she's just going off and the part that I kept rewinding was, there were many parts where I kept rewinding because everyone's facial expressions were like amazing. But Gabby goes like that.
Oh, podcast listeners, just this aghast.
And then they keep going because Tony's like, let's go. And then she's just like in the back, outrageous.
And Gabby has that look of that poor thing is so unstable.
I know.
Yes.
I so apologize, Mr. Shin, for what just happened. I was laughing.
Who would you all, listening to the arguments between Cole and Gabby, who would you have made CEO of DiMera Enterprises?
I'm going to take the calm and cool one. Yeah.
Gabby?
Gabby.
Yeah.
And
I thought so too.
because she's calm and cool and not losing her S like Cole is.
Yeah.
But because, she built Gabby Chic, we didn't, see it all. But she built Gabby Chic from the ground up. She's in it already. It just makes sense rather than Nicole, who's been dead or off the corporate ladder for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gabby.
And
Gabriella.
the mistake that Cole made was when she was arguing her case, she was making it sound, she was saying things like, this is my company. I know this company like no one else. And I'm thinking, you're Nicole.
Well, I think that's what she was forgetting.
Mistake.
Like
Yeah.
she was I think at that moment she almost wanted to pull the mask off and go, "It's Kristen, bitch!"
Yeah, so bad.
And that's why everybody, Mr. Shin, was just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Because even he was saying that this company isn't about just who you are. It's about, just making DiMera. And then she's like, exactly, that's why you have to choose me. I'm like, what are you saying? Girl, calm down. No.
So, sorry. There were two things that were mentioned this week that I had questions about. One, when Abe was performing Stabby's ceremony in the vows, or in the wedding, he said, "By the power invested in me by the great state of Illinois."
Okay.
I don't remember a time where it was actually specified that now we know Salem is in Illinois.
Chat room, have we heard before
I know,
somewhere along the lines
so that
about
was
that?
Secondly, we had a reiteration that Nicole is actually dead.
Yes.
Which kind of upset me.
Yeah. And this was the second time, though.
Yeah, this is the second time they've mentioned
that they said
that
she's
Nicole is
indeed. But that doesn't mean
I know,
anything
like,
really.
yeah, but it was,
Yeah.
it just kind of made me sad.
She could stumble in as some lost woman and surprise everybody.
Yeah.
With
It's
Holly.
always possible, yeah.
Yeah, I
with
mean-
Holly, yeah, because we know Holly's
With
alive.
Holly's
yeah.
alive.
It's days. Anything is possible. Another moment that I liked, because when I feel like when Kristen is Nicole, she's kind of unraveling a little bit because she has to play this person. She can't be herself unless she's in the mask out of the mask in her hotel room. But when she was talking with Tony and she was talking about the plan and she did this like that, like Tony's face was like, "Oh, okay, girl. Oh, that's what we're doing."
And
All
she
right.
did that.
Yeah. It was.
It was beautiful.
I just love those moments
Ari.
where you get a little peek of Kristen.
Yes.
It's fun.
Did you guys see the moment at the very end of Friday, Gabby looking at Stefano's portrait, thinking back to her plan? Did you see it coming that she was going to tell Stefan to stick it?
No.
So here was,
I didn't see it either. I was like, ugh.
Here was my thought, and this is just Tammy.
Mm-hmm.
I would never have said that until it was signed, sealed, and delivered. Because Mr. Shin said, "Okay, we'll get the paper, the documents." Until it's signed,
That
sealed,
is
and
a good
delivered,
point.
then I would have played my card. And you need to pack your bags and get out of my house.
Because I was like, "Ooh, girl, too soon, too soon, too soon, girl,
do
too
we
soon."
think-
I was like, what are you doing?
I had a thought because Days does this. Do we think it's real or do we think it's like in Gabby's imagination that she's doing that?
Oh, I hate you. You're right.
That is so
I mean, we'll find out tomorrow. We don't have to wait long. But that was my... Because I was like, oh, I can't believe she did that. And then again, on my drive over here, I thought, oh, maybe it's not...
That would make total sense.
Real.
I hope that's the case.
I hope so.
Because I agree with you, Tammy. She jumped it way too soon. I was waiting for her to say that moment. I'm like, okay, let's go. But I was like you said, she didn't sign anything. I'm like, she needs to tone it down a little bit. And she's really fighting with her feelings, because she had that flashback with her and Kate. Kate's like, oh, you fell for him, and I think she's still playing with her emotions a little bit too. So she's kind of unraveling a little bit too with that.
And speaking of her and Kate, to your point, I mean, Gabby is just.
I feel like this week
this
week solidified Gabriela Hernandez DiMera as the
love that
next
name.
Kate of Salem.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the confrontation. Was it this week? Rafe saying, "Oh no, you're not," over my dead body.
Yeah,
that was a great moment.
That was good.
That was a great moment.
Perfect. All right, so let's move right along to another amazing storyline this week.
Boy.
Eve, Jack, Jennifer, Lonnie, and Eli.
Cassie.
First of all, before we get into that, let's just acknowledge Eli is now the new police commissioner, which is great. He kind of felt like Rafe had an issue with it.
Did you think so?
I didn't think Rafe had an issue with it. I think there's just a lot going on, and that's what Lonnie mentioned.
Okay.
But it's kind of like, all right, I like Rafe, Eli as the commissioner.
Me too.
So I'm cool with that. All in favor?
All in favor.
All right.
I was surprised.
And I like
That's not
that,
what I didn't see that.
this Jack is now being nice.
But I think it's always been in him, and I think he's been very aware of Eve, and I think he went along with it because since he can't remember who he was, he just accepted who he is now. And I think after a while, he was just like, no, this isn't me. And the whole fight that they had with seeing her burn the diary and then threatening to smash the serum with a heart rock, by the way,
Yes.
which I don't know why that's in the hotel room, but I'm sure that has some sort of significance. And then I was like, Jack finally got through to her by begging her, please do not destroy the serum. And then
Did you think he had changed her mind?
I thought he did.
Oh.
And then she just went,
Yeah.
I gay gasped at that moment.
yeah.
Michael texted me. He's like, oh.
Well, first I said, did you watch Mondays?
Yeah.
Because I don't want
And
to
I-
spoil
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
But I was shocked.
See, I didn't buy that she was not going to do it.
Same.
I didn't trust
I was
her.
fooled. I was
fooled
shocked.
too. I was fooled.
Because I knew Jack being nice. I was like, oh, he's just playing her. And I was like, Eve, come on. I was like,
Interesting.
you're smarter than this. And she knew it too. She caught on to it. That's why she smashed it. And then that's when he, called her.
And then she said the line, if I can't have you, neither can Jennifer.
No.
And then she
No.
just spiraled and...
No, there was another moment when he was like, you bitch.
Yes.
And then she was like,
There it is.
There it is right there.
There it is.
And
There
I
it
think
is.
for her, it was like, that's how you really feel about me.
So
Your
She
true
knew.
feelings
But I
are
don't
coming
believe
out.
that.
She
I
knew.
don't believe that's how he really thought about her.
I
until
think
she did that.
I think at some point it switched. I think at some point Eve knew that she would never have Jack fully, especially with this quest of wanting to remember his life. And I think that threat was always going to be there.
Yes.
It was never going to go away. Because even if he didn't take the actual serum and maybe his memory comes back on its own, there's still that worry. So for the duration of this marriage, she was always going to have to try to
Yeah.
keep him. You know what I mean? So now it
Manage.
just puts the end to everything. So
But at least Jack gets a little bit of retribution, I guess, for what she did, because then after she called the lab and had the notes that they had of
Can
the
you-
serum seized and shredded, he was like, you're
Can't
fired.
believe it. Can you believe
Yeah, that was low.
That was, yeah.
And so now Eve's out of a job because of what she did.
well, did she ever really have?
Not really. I mean,
It was coming. It
in
was
title
coming.
only.
I think it was the best way. I knew she was going to lose the job, but I didn't think it would be Jack to be the one to fire her. So that I kind of like that spinoff.
And then we had some scenes between Jack and Jennifer.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
So that was always great.
And I love
Yeah.
having our Jennifer and Jack moment because, they're having this nice moment. She's like, you didn't know. And then she's like, but I'm so glad you're over those slimy politics.
I know.
Excuse me?
That was fun.
They're back to their old shenanigans.
I'm still mad at Jennifer for not giving Dr. Shaw a full chance.
Yes, we're still not over.
I'm mad at
Shaw.
that.
I think Dr. Shaw's mad at it too.
Oh, we could put him on the DOOL app with somebody.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
The Adventures
Oh,
of
there we
Dr.
go.
Shaw.
Yeah.
There you go.
The Life
Yeah.
and Times of Dr.
I
Shaw.
wouldn't mind starring in that.
Days, you hear that?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kayla was on the landscape for a
Little
little
bit,
while.
yeah.
Always love to see Mary Beth. So yeah, I think that was it for that storyline.
All right. Well, let's move on to Sarah,
Talk
Eric,
about
and Rex.
Finally, this is moving on.
Gas.
What I appreciate is Rex. Rex finally is like,
He's not like
something's
"Dude."
going on here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the way that she was when Eric found out about Cricole and the wedding to Tony and that Brady was there and he was blowing up. Actually, this was the first time where I was kind of with Cricole and was like, Eric, go find something else to
Please.
do.
Yeah.
Like, stop getting yourself so riled up over this woman who clearly doesn't want anything to do with you. And then for Sarah to be like, well, come hang with us. And Rex is like, we have plans. No, we don't. And I'm like, girl, like, can you be any more obvious that you would rather
very
hang out with
transparent.
Eric? And then the whole Chinese dinner.
But
Poor Eric.
back up.
I know.
Back up just before
Hashtag.
Fifth wheel?
the
Yeah.
Chinese dinner. Eric and blowouts with Brady.
Yeah.
Like attacking Brady. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, what are you
needs to-
doing?
Yeah. He needs to simmer down.
Simmer down now.
You know what the final nail in Rex's coffin was for me, and I texted you about this too.
Oh, right?
Rex isn't really into dogs. I was like, done.
That was a gasp. I
Done.
was
Kick
like,
him out.
No dogs.
Yeah. Who doesn't like dogs?
Bye.
I mean, my hand is half raised.
Yeah, no. That's
Not that I
Yeah.
Do you
not that
mean?
I don't like dogs. I only experience dogs through other people. So I'm kind of like dog adjacent right now.
I'm a huge dog lover. I'm trying to get a golden retriever right now.
See, like, am I the guy when the dog walks? Oh, doggy, nope. But if I'm at a friend's house and the dog comes over and wants to eat with me, then I'm like, hey, pooch. You know.
That's how you're supposed to be with dogs, though.
Okay.
So you're doing it right.
You're doing it good, Tony.
I'm dog adjacent.
Yes.
Right now.
Adjacent.
Yeah.
But I will agree with you, Tony. I was glad that Rex finally stood up because I'm like, if he is just going to bypass this, that she said that she confessed that she loved Eric, I was like, come on, Rex, stand up, stand
Have some
up.
cojones.
Yes.
But that was a shocking moment when she said, I
The
love
look on her face.
Because I thought, like, if I was in her shoes, like, how am I going to get out of
Yeah,
this?
there's no getting out of it. Yeah,
How
she
the
just.
heck am I going to get out of this?
Oh, because there's no way Eric and Rex don't sound alike.
Nothing.
And I thought maybe she was dreaming. When they showed the preview, I thought she was dreaming. I thought she was like asleep. And then she said it. You are fully awake, girl, with Eric on your mind. I love you, Sarah. I love you, Eric.
And then she said, and I probably would have said the same thing, well, maybe it was the MSG.
Nope.
Sarah, stop.
But also, Rex, don't go over to Eric's house talking about thank you for ruining my marriage.
Come
No, how
on.
about you sit and talk to Sarah? And furthermore,
Thank
you
you.
cannot be the like what do you call them type of people? The moral police, seeing as how you done
Moral
cheated
compass,
not
yeah.
once, not
Good.
twice, but a couple of
Yeah.
times.
Good
And
point.
Sarah has like,
Not even
taken
cheated.
you
She
back.
just kissed.
She just
That's it.
They're broken up. But I will say this. I am getting ready. I'm praying that we have an Eric, Sarah, and Xander love triangle.
Yeah.
Because at the end, when he was Xander's like trouble in paradise, it's like that bad boy, good boy triangle love thing that I think is going to come.
I have comments on Xander, but we'll get to that later.
All right.
Because that's in the tidbits.
Let's breeze through.
Let's talk about Xander's tidbits. Sorry.
Yes.
Xander's got some good tidbits.
Yes, let's talk
Doesn't he,
about
Kate?
let's talk about some tidbits.
So let's breeze through our short break,
Yes.
and then our tidbits and our segments because we do have Camila Banus in the
here.
building. She is here, so we are going to zip through everything in about 6 minutes and go.
So, folks in the chat room, thank you so much. There's a lot of chat going on, and we always appreciate
200 people.
200 people, you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Please make sure and continue the
209.
engagement and comments. You know, here at AfterBuzz TV, we love being here. Okay, we do this every week because we love Days of Our Lives. We love the soap opera world, and we're so thankful to have a platform to talk about the shows. So thank you for your participation. Thank you for your engagement. Share the love, share the news. You know, follow us across social media. AfterBuzz does hundreds of recap shows. So if you're a fan of other shows, you can pretty much be guaranteed AfterBuzz has a recap. Thank you. We love you. Keep watching us and share the love.
Oh, we love you too, Tammy.
Those kinds of announcements brought to you by the kind folks here at AfterBuzz TV. Now let's zip through our tidbits.
Yes.
Hope and Ted. First of all, Hope you're nosy. Although I'm glad that Will kind of put the bug in her ear.
I didn't see that until
like
Will
that.
said that. I'm like, oh my God, he's right.
Yeah, and then she went into full detective mode. Like, yes, let's go back to your house. Yes, let me do some snooping. Yes, I don't trust you. But she got caught, and she's still sloppy. Like, if you throw the basil in your pocket, and not in the
trash on top. Or
Yeah.
put it in the bottom of the
I
trash
did
can.
say to Michael when I think it was in the town square when Ted said to Hope, "I love you." Man, I said to Michael, when Jules Marini looks into your eyes and says, "I love you." Oh my God!
I love you too.
Gives you the
Wow.
vapor. Gives you the vapors.
That moment,
Yeah.
when he like looks into your soul. Yes, I'm just saying.
Okay, what did he uncover?
Tammy.
Like Pandora's box
It was
over
beautiful.
here. Yeah, and they're now going through their stuff because hopefully doesn't trust Ted, and she has a reason to. The fact that she found all this money in
Bills,
the kitchen,
$20.
yeah,
all
and
the
she was
20.
like, "I'm familiar with this. Like, this is unmarked, bills, rubber band, all this kind of stuff. Like,
He tried to pass it off like, oh, that was money from his client, but yeah, she wasn't buying it.
and that he was like on a deserted island
Yeah.
and like was away.
He
and all
needs
that
to
kind
be.
of stuff.
He needs to have his emergency.
Only thing I don't like about Ted is, you know, when she's just like, when Hope is like, trust me. I know he's trying to protect her, but he is just saying, you accepted the necklace. You think that's not good enough. Okay, you're lying to me. I'm like, Ted, really? Really? That just irked me. I don't know. Something's just not right.
He's scrambling.
Yeah.
Well, she gave the necklace back, and now they're pretty much
done.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of done, we're done with that. Moving on to Ciara and Ben.
So good to have them back on the landscape.
No, the first thing that I am going to say, I tweeted about it already. If y'all don't do a segment where they go to the local furniture store and buy a bigger bed rather than laying up in this twin bed,
they could go to
with
Mathis
each other.
Brothers. Product placement, Mathis Brothers.
Like the first shot, I was like, this bed is small. Like,
it is.
Robert Scott Wilson, who plays Ben, is like 6'2". Maybe 3.
He's actually 6 foot. Just saying.
Do you know weight too?
Oh wait, don't know that yet.
Body fat percentage.
Dear Robert Scott Wilson, be careful. But he's tall, and Victoria. She's
not a tiny
woman.
person. She's
y'all like
woman,
y'all ain't got no you can't turn in that bed. You gonna fall.
Who's turning?
You get hot.
It's love, and I said this love in the afternoon.
No, you are not trying to be all cuddled up all night.
No.
After about 30 minutes, you get off me.
No,
the roll.
Like
you roll over. Give each other their space.
Yeah, no, Sin's not there yet.
Well, the only thing with Sin, they were a part of the wedding. They were a witness to the Gabby and Stefan
wedding. I loved how they said to Stefan, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is all sorts of wrong.
And they were just very upfront about this is pretend, right?
Yeah.
This isn't for real.
Ben
they were very real.
To be a cop too, because he's even telling Stefan, like, look, why are you falling for this? She might try to take everything away from you. Dun, dun, dun.
And
boom.
That was right. That happened. All right, and then Kate and Xander.
Is there a ship for them?
Not yet.
No.
Did you see the way Kate checked him out?
Oh, yeah, there's a
gap. Yeah.
The spot, it was so hot between the two of them.
I like how she was like, put a shirt on, and then he walked by and she was like, I was like, oh, she likes it.
Oh, I would have been the same way. But she's demanding. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm kind of curious for them to explore something between the two of them. Even though, like, I also want to see what would happen with Xander and Sarah, obviously. But Kate needs a good man.
Yeah.
And I think Xander is a good match for Kate personality wise
and mentally. They're both manipulators. Like they can both be one step ahead of each other.
And
good chess game.
I wonder.
No pun intended.
Wonder how this is going to play out with her being like, you are going to find Kristen and get in touch with her and let her know I need to talk to her, and you're going to do it now. And I was like, oh snap!
Yeah.
But Xander is not sweating. He's like,
because he has no shirt on.
He was sweating with Eve, but
he had no shirt on the entire week,
and I was okay with that.
We were all okay with that.
It's summertime.
It was funny because when he like scares Eve, and Eve is like, oh, my marriage just ended. I was like, if that was me, I'd be like, see him shirtless? Yeah, my marriage just ended.
My marriage just ended.
It ended.
And my new marriage has begun. All right, well, y'all, that has been your week of days, and now it's time for our favorite part of the show, which are our segments, and we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Awards. All right, now listen. At first, I was going to give it to all the hilarious facial expressions that were happening in Salem, but when Ms. Gabriela Hernandez DiMera was announced as the CEO of DiMera Enterprises, and she not only got the DiMera Enterprises, but she also got all the assets. She got the mansion. She got everything. I was like, that is a boss bitch. So, Ms. Camila Banus, Gabriela Hernandez DiMera, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Awards. See, that's how you come in and wreck shop. You're like, I got a plan. I'm going to see it through. And then it happened, and she was like, now pack your stuff and go.
Yep.
And now it's time for
Designer Days. Fashion. Elegance. Hi. Designer Days. So it's Camila Banus' week because she's also getting Designer Days spotlight. I couldn't choose between the two. We have the Alice and Olivia jumpsuit that she was married in. Every woman should have this as a wedding option. First, second, third, or fourth marriage, it doesn't matter. Love this one. And then there was just this gorgeous keepsake, the label women's love light sleeveless ruffle short sheath slip dress. Loved it. They were absolutely stunning. Camila, boss bitch, you get?
Oh wait, it's gonna come up. There it is.
Designer days.
All right, and now it's time for. Caption That.
All right. This week's Caption That photo comes courtesy of Eric Martov and Ari Zucker as Krikol and Brady. First caption, Eric Martzoff, always willing to contribute, our biggest fan, posted his own caption, which I'll read you first. It says, "We forgot to hit up Party City and pick up that mask you ordered."
I love it.
So thank you, Eric, for always being a willing participant. And our winning caption comes from Blue Eyes BJ on Instagram. I didn't get a real name, but Blue Eyes BJ on Instagram with her caption, "I'll keep knocking, but wishing we were rocking."
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Was this week's caption. There we go.
Real quick, we didn't cover it, but that whole thing with Xander and the mask.
Oh, yeah.
Hysterical. Oh, my God.
I was like, listen, if you want to role play,
Yeah.
I don't mind. I don't mind Nacho Exotica or whatever
You know
he
what
called himself.
would have been great, because he was talking to Sunny and like, maybe you and Will should try role playing. It would have been great if like the scene had ended and Xander had the mask off and Sunny just went and like grabbed it like kind of coyly and like actually took the suggestion.
Yeah.
Like he was taking the suggestion.
Maybe they got their own stuff
I
going
mean, maybe
on.
they, yeah, I never know.
Who knows?
And now it's time for the moment of the week. I promise your soundbite is coming. It hasn't come to me yet. Your soundbite is coming.
And I'm ready for it. Okay, this one was really, really hard. But I'm telling you, every time Sin hits the scene, there's just so many cute moments between them. Of course, my favorite, we all know, Ciara needs help putting on her necklace and asks Ben for assistance. Ben is smooth as he's leaning in. He starts kissing her neck. We just get caught in that heated moment. But where the awe moment takes place is Ciara asks, "Do I look okay for a wedding?" Ben said, "Oh my God, you look beautiful. I really don't deserve you." Ciara, all this wedding talk has put you quite in the romantic mood. Ben, no, it's not the wedding talk, it's you. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Malts to the max.
All right, and really quick, we're gonna go into news and gossip.
Oh, yeah. Speed through this.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, first off, we want to send out our best wishes to Marcy Miller, Nadia Bjorlin, Brian Datillo, and Wally Kurth, who celebrated their birthdays this
So
past
many.
week. Hope you all had a wonderful birthday.
So many birthdays.
Yeah.
Especially last week. Last week was like 10 birthdays.
And Days of Our Lives is coming to Houston on Saturday, August 10th. Join cast members Lauren Koslow, Paul Tefler, Melissa Reeves, Matt Hashford, Lamone Archie, Saul Stowers, Lindsay Godfrey.
Who also celebrated her birthday this week.
Yes.
Oh, Sal did?
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
that's right.
no, Lindsay.
Lindsay
yeah, yeah.
did. Camila Banus, Deidre Hall, and Drake Hagenstein at Memorial City Mall from 12 to 4. There will be a greet and meet with the stars and trivia challenge. There's a completely free event, and early arrival is suggested.
Yes.
Houston is about to be popping.
Next week, y'all, Houston, Texas, the Memorial City Mall. Also next week, if
And
you're
home
around...
of Beyonce. Sorry. Okay, go
And
ahead.
Beyonce?
Yeah,
Is
home of
Beyonce gonna be there?
Well, no,
She
but
gonna get
she's
some
from
autographs?
Houston. She's from
Oh, okay.
Houston, so.
Okay, Houston, Texas, baby. Also next week, if you're around Tarrytown, New York, you can meet our biggest fan, Eric Martzoff, Greg Ricard, Jill Marini, and Freddie Smith. Our friends Paul and Keith at Starstruck Events are having their Summer Fever event. Events include a meet and greet with the stars and a Sleepy Hollow Graveyard tour. For all information on Starstruck events, including their Myrtle Beach event in October and their annual Yesterday's event here in LA, can be found at starstruckfanevents.com or on Twitter at starstruckfanevents2.
All right.
There
That's
we
been
go.
your news and gossip.
How was that?
And now...
Boss bitch is in the house.
She's been watching this wacky show since segments, and she's just been thoroughly entertained. But now we get to get the lowdown
Oh my God.
of all things Gabby Hernandez. Miss Camila Banus is here. Yay!
Gabby Hernandez DiMera.
DiMera.
Yes.
Watch out.
She's a DiMera.
Get it together. First of all, bravo,
Bravo.
on your work as Gabby.
First of
Oh my
all, thank
gosh.
you for having me here.
Of course.
Love
Thank you for
being here, so
coming.
thank you.
No, listen, there is so much to talk about because there has been like this evolution of Gabby. Because Gabby was kind of like oh no, like let's keep peace kind of a girl. But when she went to jail and she came out,
Jail
she was
does
like,
that to a person.
she's like, listen.
You can do that to somebody.
Yeah. How do you feel about the evolution of Gabby and what do you do as an actress to really kind of push yourself to continue like playing this hard-nosed character?
I think it's a dance between the character and the writers and the person portraying the character, because at the end of the day, I can't really do anything that they don't write.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't, at the end of the day, I can tweak things. I can say, listen, this is pushing it. I don't know if Gabby would do this, or maybe Gabby would go even further. Whatever it is, there is a compromise. There is an open door. But again, I can't create some situation out of nowhere that the writers have never. So I think it's a side by side dialogue between the writers and the character. And I think the evolution that they've created for her has been beautiful because, like you said at the beginning of Gabby, taking it back to before Ariana.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, do I have a life? Like, what am I? I'm in high school. Like, she was this little thing, and she just all it was about was just fairness and family, and don't mess with my family because that's the only time I spice up, and then if you mess with me, I'm gonna cry, kind of thing. Yeah. It was really like that, and she didn't really have a control over her life.
Yeah.
And then her life turned into this just crazy downward spiral. And she didn't have control of her life still, but it was just horrible what happened to her. Well, first of all, there was a step where she took control of her life, but she was put in that situation. I'm talking about Nick.
Yeah.
That's when I think it really turned.
That's
Right.
Yes.
I mean, you talk about like your life being, what do you want to do with your life? I want to be a photographer, and then somebody's coming to stalk you, and you have to really just like, am I going to be alive? Who cares what I'm going to be tomorrow, 10 years from now? So it's really, it took a toll on her, and it took a reality check, I think, and the writers noticed that there needed something to happen, and then prison happened, and like you said, it really, everybody's experience is different. Of course, I can't speak for anybody. I've never been to prison. This is just like,
thank God.
Thank God. And
Just wanted to clarify that, fans.
Yeah.
Right. But you know what I mean? It's a different experience for everybody, and I think what happened to her was really unfair, especially, second time around. And it really made this super hard shell on Gabby that is really hard to break through. I think it's kind of like made diamonds around it or something. It's just like, it's almost impenetrable, and right now it's hardened her heart so much that there's really nowhere to go from there.
Right.
Can we go back really quick to that Nick moment when you're working opposite Allison and Lauren? As an actor, how did that raise the bar? Like, how did that change you?
Yeah, well,
it had to have.
Well, yeah, I mean, even a little bit before there, I was doing a lot of scenes with Allison, coming in as her husband's sister, so kind of like her sister-in-law kind of thing. She didn't have anybody to respond to when it came to him, but now she did. And I was always going to look out for my brother. And since then, it was a wonderful learning experience. I mean, working with Allison, you met her. She's just a wonderful person. I think she's a very professional person. I've never seen her be unprofessional. I've never seen her just make it about her. It's about the story. It's about the show. It's about making it great always. And she's directed episodes that I've been in. And to me have been super rewarding moments to work with. And I mean, that moment's particularly working with Lauren, working with Allison, and even Blake Paris as kind of like a dead body there. It was awesome. I mean, from the little moments of Lauren just taking liberties to eat Altoids throughout the entire thing, which was not planned, was not in the script, but it's just their experience. It's just their experience, and their essence just shows up on camera the minute that the minute before the cameras are on, the minute they walk into the set, it's there, and you can see it. And I shut my mouth and I learn. That's what I do.
And for me, I've said it on the show before. I've always felt like that's that moment where that's kind of brought Gabby where she is now, because she kind of learned from the other boss bitches of Salem, and the fact that there's still this great connection between Gabby and Kate,
Love
and
it.
that now
Good.
Gabby's kind of like, I know exactly what I need to do, and I know exactly how to like get what I want, and I also know who's standing in my corner. So I still love those moments with you and Lauren Koslow. Like
They've really, the writers, that was something that was played on, not only with the writers, but with the directors as well.
Yeah.
I would get a script where it would insinuate something of that nature, and the directors would enforce it with, this is a mentor-mentee kind of situation, so enter it that way.
Yeah.
And that, we wanted to always carry that across.
Yeah. I was like,
So I'm happy that did.
definitely.
Yeah.
We've said that like the way Gabby is, she's kind of growing herself to be like the new Kate of Salem.
Yeah.
Cool.
And now that she's solidified as a DiMera, she's even further into that.
Into it.
Well, she's also looking out for Kate at the end of the day. She knows that she's been there for her. She's doing this so that she can be on top and Kate can win at the same time, because at the end of the day, we gotta win,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this week has been like on Friday when there was the look at Stefano's portrait, the reminder of what the plan was, and then you were like,
great.
you can now pack all your stuff and get out of my house. I was like,
I don't think any of us saw that coming.
no. Now, of course, I screamed to the TV, no, girl, too soon, girl, too soon, too soon.
You don't have it in writing yet.
Wait till stuff is signed, wait till it dries, then boom. But like how and playing off of Brandon, like this whole stabby thing that we didn't see coming either. Like all of a sudden I'm like, all right, I am here for this. How is it for you guys to work together and suddenly be shipped together?
Some people in the chat room are curious, just to snowball off of that, like what the actor transitions. You've had a few this year, Marcy and to Kate, and Tyler to Brandon. So
good point.
Maybe
Yeah.
how it changed, like the dynamics, or
it's always weird to talk about that, just because, obviously it's two different people, two different personalities, two different work ethics, two different everything. It's just it doesn't matter. It's just a completely different person. Yeah. And I enjoy all four. I enjoy working with all four, and Brandon particularly. Sometimes you just click right off the bat with somebody. Not that I didn't with Tyler. It's just we didn't have as much screen time. Our characters weren't as developed. I think we had the poker situation.
Yeah.
It was a slower pace getting into that comfortability with him. It's something, I don't know what it is. I think also Brandon has a kid. He's got his beautiful, beautiful daughter, and he's very, very sometimes youthful when it comes to that. And I'm super like that. And I clicked with him immediately off the comedy. He's always joking and making like Family Guy noises and like little soundtrack things. And I love that. I feed off of that. I'm total nerd and total immature when it comes to things like that, especially if I'm doing like a kissing scene with you. I want to break the ice, and immediately after we're done kissing, I'm like, oh. Making faces, because it's weird. It's always going to be weird. Like, we're in our underwear, and like, it's just, we're sweaty.
A lot.
Yeah. Or we're like kissing each other.
Yeah, because like Gabby and Stefan, like, y'all just look at each other and it's like, we got 5 minutes. Let's go. And on Julie's death, we were like, I was like, okay, now, first of all, y'all in somebody's office. I mean, y'all be more aware.
You think like, way too much.
I said we rented the space, okay?
She was like, this is my space and this is what I want to do.
Whole space means the office too.
But it's been just so electric, and I think it's been exciting for fans to kind of at first be like, yeah, Gabby, wait a minute. We like this. No.
Yeah. And also, we know you're fighting it, girl.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of influences of that, because, like you said, they were at each other because there's this super lust equation there with Gabby and Steph in there. At the end of the day, you have to go back to Gabby with a Y.
Yeah.
There was something about her that it was a fire that burned for him. Yeah. And as much as he may not want to talk about it, man, we're never going to bring it back up. Gabby with a Y came and she stayed. So, it's just, they really needed, the directors and the producers and the writers really needed to feed into that because it needed to have that reversal. It needed to have that, like, oh my God, they're jumping out of the ship. They can't get out of each other's bones. But then it's more than that, guys.
Yeah.
Like, you need to realize it's more than that. Hello, it's more than that.
During that whole storyline, I always commended Marcy for, like, how she played each individual role, and especially when she played Gabby with the Y, you could see some of, like, your nuances and things like that.
Yeah.
And I always wonder, like, did they like Kiki in the room and, like, Marcy was just kind of watching and being like, okay, you do like that, okay, I'm gonna do like that too. Like,
it wasn't particularly like that. I mean, she was given a bit of a no. It's interesting because you're kind of like playing, like you said, off of somebody's nuances. That's what she was given the note of.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily observe Camila, but if you happen to be in a moment where she is expressing, sure, observe her nuances and really make something of your own. And she did tell me, she's like, I'm doing this out of the most utter respect towards you. I love you, and this is not you. This is nuances of Gabby and whatever. And I'm just like, I love you, and I love what you're doing. So
go for it.
Yeah,
definitely.
I love that.
Well, going back to, because you mentioned, with your characters, 1 minute with you and Stefan, like you're romantic, and the next you have to go back to the main plot. Like, okay, she is trying to get revenge at him. With you, if you had to choose for your character now after what Friday's brought. If it had to be you, would you want Gabby to go more towards the revenge side, or do you want her to go follow her heart a little bit more?
That's a great question. I think as a cheerleader of Gabby, as somebody that wants the best for Gabby, of course I'd want her to follow her heart. I don't necessarily think that Stefan DiMera is the best person for her to, have her raise her child or be around that kind of lifestyle, but it is where her heart is laying, and that's where her heart is. So it just, you don't choose that. It just happens.
Yeah.
I would want her to choose her heart, but again, I may want her to be a little bit in between. Let's just maybe somewhere in the middle there. Yeah.
I just thought about something funny that could have happened. When Gabby looked at Stefano's photo, I almost now want that moment of her imagining her photo there.
That would be
like
when
Lauren and Kate and Sammy's photo.
Yes.
Like what would Gabby's photo, but like would she be standing there just like
with a martini in it?
Yeah, just like bam, my house, bitch.
Probably.
I like that.
Alternate ending.
Anyone at Day's writing, let's see that portrait of Gabby, so we know that she's really running things. Any other questions? Because we're going to take phone calls in a second from you guys. So stay tuned. I'm going to give you guys the number because I know you guys have questions, so stay tuned.
From the chat room, Red Sox Sarah wants to know if you have any influence over your wardrobe, because every week you look incredible, which we concur. You always look
Thank you, guys.
stunning.
And thank you, Red Sox Sarah.
Red Sox Sarah.
Sarah, nice. Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much. We all have influences over our wardrobe. Richard Bloor is amazing, and what he does is, he's out there and he has other people that shop for him as well that kind of know our personalities as far as characters, because there's some things that he pulls out and I'm like, oh my God, I want that as Camila. But
Exactly.
Gabby would not wear that, but Camila wants that, so he goes out there and he finds those little pieces depending on our character, and then kind of gives us a little bit of a range. I will say he has fun with Gabby. So he gives me usually like 5 or 7 options, and I'm like, can I have all of them?
Exactly.
There are so many moments where you come on screen, and that was one of them this week when you come on screen for the wedding in that glittery jumpsuit,
It was so perfect.
and you're just like, ooh,
Thank you. I didn't have that particularly in mind, but I said I didn't want white.
The traditional.
I was looking for something maybe black because it was a DiMera kind of wedding, and I was thinking of like La Familia. But he showed me that beautiful Alice and Olivia jumpsuit, and I was like, well, yeah, that's what she needs to get married in. Are you kidding me? And I know Eileen Davidson wore it on something fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go. So Goddess wore it. I gotta wear it. I get a little bit of a say, and like I said, there's some pieces that like right off the bat I'm like, whoa, that's Gabby. And there's some that I don't even have to try. I'm like, okay, let's try this one.
Do you get to keep anything?
Not necessarily keep, but we do use them. So if I have an event or something, I get to wear it. And it's not really like, after I get photographed in it, I mean, I'm not really gonna wear it a lot unless I wear it to some other family big event or something. Because I'm chill.
So there's never been a time that you've left the studio and been like, oops, I forgot to take my costume off.
No, actually, I'm very responsible when it comes to that. The only thing that I actually own are these boots that I fell in love with. We had a different costume designer, and she let me have them, and I was like, oh my God, thank you. I can't live without them.
I'm trying to remember. What are they?
They're Vera Wang boots.
Oh yes. That's
They were these
definitely on the
chunky
bag.
boots I was wearing for a while. They have like a chunky front, but I love them.
Love it.
Well, what we've noticed on the show is that Gabby is very sassy, and sometimes when she gets very sassy, she goes into Spanish just a little bit, like a couple of weeks
Tu
ago.
abuela es loca.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what she said, but it sounds great. So what we want to do is we want to play a little game called Como se dice, where we're gonna give you a line of something that happened this week on Days, and you just translate it for us in Spanish.
Gabby
so
style.
it's kind of like we're about to give you Days in Espanol.
What?
Oh man, there was supposed to be a sound effect there. Ryan, what happened to that sound effect? He ain't in the booth no more. He don't care. All right, well maybe next time we'll get it. Okay, so we'll start down with Michael Mattis.
Okay. Kate checked out Xander's backside. His butt.
Pero mira ese pip.
So is that you said we do censor? Is that what you said? Yeah, there we go.
Well, hello, welcome. Today's in Espanol.
Love it. Okay.
That's going on the Days app.
Right.
You know?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Days out. There you go. Days in Espanol, where you just give a full
Sponsored by
recap in
Gabby.
Spanish.
I love it.
Go ahead, Chelsea.
Well, my favorite one was honestly with Nicole when she's like at your face, like, oh, her nails are in her face, like kind of like that moment. Can you recap that, like in Spanish?
Let me think. She's telling me to. I'm not gonna get
Because I know-
married. This is not gonna happen, right? No en mi casa. Not in this house.
Oh my God.
So Telemundo.
I know.
You know, you gotta do a little bit of
love
nostril
it.
flare too.
All right. Tamala.
So the moment when Mr. Shin made the decision and Gabby realizes I have become boss bitch and looks at Crickhole.
So she's translating, I have become boss bitch.
Yes.
Damn, that's a hard one. I don't know. She's literally gonna have a party, honestly. Like tequila, whatever.
All right, let's see. So this week, Eve destroyed the serum for Jack's memory. So, como se dice, Eve destroyed the serum for Jack's memory.
Eva
Eva.
destruyó el serum de Xander.
Jack.
Oh no, de Jack. Okay. Eva destruyó el serum de Jack.
Oh my God. This needs
This
to
is
be on the
amazing.
app.
That sounded
Oh my God.
That sounded good.
Seriously.
I'm so captivated.
Seriously.
Like I almost
my
want to lean in and
God.
be like, girl, what happened?
Yeah. Can I just tell you a really quick story? When I had an apartment in Hollywood and we didn't have laundry facilities, so we would go to the laundromat in the strip mall, and they played novellas. Mm-hmm. And
They always do.
Ernie, who doesn't know Spanish, would translate.
I've done my
What
share.
was going on? So it's fascinating.
Yeah.
That novella energy, and that was the novella energy
That's
that
what
you
it
gave
is. Trust
us.
me, I know it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's beautiful.
I remember those days where I would sit there and I would go, man, I wish I knew what they were saying because this looks good.
Have you ever thought about being on a Spanish soap opera?
I've done a few.
You done a
I
few?
did a few growing up, and they're
Oh my
not for
gosh.
me. But I did enjoy working on them as a child. I did like 5 or 6 growing up.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Look at you.
Good for you.
Thanks. They're short-lived.
Well, no, now they're going to live on as Days en Espanol. You're on point with that, Ryan. I love it.
Fabulous.
All right, so we're going to open up the phone lines, continue talking. We are going to continue talking to Miss Camila Banus about...
There we go. Now we
It's actually Spanish, so there you go. It's perfect.
So make sure you guys call in at 424-354-8302. That's 424-354-8302. I know that you probably get this question all the time, but for you, what has been your favorite storyline, and what did that storyline allow you to push yourself more as an actress?
Okay, my favorite storyline. I've had a couple favorite storylines.
Yeah,
you know, you get to do a lot on
Yeah.
a soap in a really short amount of time, which is really awesome. You know, I poked holes in people's condoms on other shows and crazy things. But I think my favorite thing I've ever done has been, I'm a huge action girl. I love action. I love when Gabby gets kidnapped and she's always stuck in some boiler room or she's in the freezer. She's like, so for me, the funnest time I had, honestly, was that Nick Barris.
Oh, yeah.
Such an amazing time.
That was
Allison
a good one.
Sweeney, you know, Lauren Coslow running through the river with
Yes.
I had a nightmare where he was throwing me under the water and trying
so
to
good.
kill me. I almost died doing, like, shooting that, like, almost really died. But it was so fun. I was like, oh my God, can we do it again? And I had a blast.
Yeah.
They built this 2-story set that they really haven't done in years. The camera operators were on these huge still things.
Wow.
It was a big kind of thing. And, you know, we could get underwater there. It was crazy that they built that in the middle of our studio. And so for me, it was monumental. It was all these tunnel scenes and all that led to that. So I loved shooting action things. I love shooting, like, movement things. So for me, that was the funnest time I've ever had. And emotionally, it really started taking Gabby into a different place.
And it translated. Like, you could see how engaged everybody was.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
Haywood wants to know, ask Camila if she will kick Xander in the nuts again.
Oh, that was fun.
That was
fun. I haven't seen it on the scripts yet. I would let you know that. I haven't seen it on the scripts yet, but yeah.
I'm just excited to see what's to come, because all that has led up to this. I mean, you have really taken charge of this plan and said, you know what, Brady, if you don't want to be a part of it, I'm going to keep this going.
Yes.
And, like, you kept it going. And we're all sitting here like, all right, all this sex that's happening, okay, that's cute, girl, but how you going to land this? Oh.
Yeah.
And then it all just kind of, like, fell in her lap. And she was, like, quick. She was like, oh, we don't need no prenup. What do you, okay, fine, girl, I'll sign it. And I was like, she signed the wrong name. Like, don't act like she didn't do that.
Gabby with a Y.
And then when she felt like she was losing it, she was like, oh, no, you can just, you know, just strip everything. Just, you know, and there was that eye contact of, we got this. And she's like, oh, no, I got this. Like, I just love how this whole storyline has evolved to the point where I'm still like, I didn't see that coming.
And there's so much.
There's so much more coming.
Oh my God, you guys! I know a lot of people know sometimes things that are happening, but
we know nothing.
there is so much that is just not, I would say, usual to soap opera formula.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's gonna be so fun.
Which we love.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
something that
Change
just
up,
breaks out of the formula.
If you can describe what's coming up in 3 Spanish words, what would they be?
Well, you know it's gonna be some Gabby chic boss. I'm gonna just say it in English because boss. I don't know. Boss. Gabby chic boss.
Yes.
That's a new line.
Jefa. Gabby chic jefa. That's you know, that's her MO. That's her agenda. That's Bradys. Gabby chic jefa. Jefa Gabby chic. You know, everything is leading up to this. Everything is leading up to Ariana having a college fund.
Yeah. Big picture.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. It's going to get interesting. Oh, we got some
God,
phone
this is so
calls.
great.
So let's take them. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, this is Melissa Boyette.
Oh, hi, Melissa. How are you?
Hello.
You there, Melissa?
Hey.
Hey. What's your question or comment for Camila?
Well, I wanted to ask her, does she like being bad or does she like being good?
Oh.
Ooh, thank you for that question, Melissa. That was a great question. I like both. You know, Gabby has been fun to play. Like I said, we get to do so much. But there's a little extra sprinkle of sass, extra funness that's there with the Gabby fierceness, with the being bad. It's just, I can play a few extra colors on the rainbow.
Yeah.
And it just, she's so flavorful and she's so full of life. And not that she isn't when she's good. She's super full of life when she's good too. But there's just a little extra kick, and I can't deny that it's really fun to be bad.
Nice. It's always fun to play a villain.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Melissa, for calling in and always tuning in. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Melissa. Bye.
Someone just reminded me in the chat room, another one of my favorite scenes with Gabby and Leo, when you tied up Leo to the bed and was just like...
Oh, my living word, the pillow. The pillow placement.
The strategically placed
I completely forgot about that.
Now listen, of course, when that scene came up, I was like... It's behind that pillow. But I loved it because it was that moment of like Gabby being spicy again and being like, don't mess with my family.
Yeah, I'm in control here,
like,
so let's just be clear.
So what you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
How did you...
That was awesome. You know, we took a little bit of the little Nick scene that was also there with the heart pillow. We were totally laughing about it. It was like, look, it's happening again. But it is exactly that. It's a moment where, excuse me, it doesn't matter what's happening in my life, my family, I can take a stop from my family and do what needs to be done if you guys are not going to do it.
That's something I love that they've done with the Gabby character. Will and Sunny are her family. She is always there for them. There was a scene a few weeks ago when Will was in the hospital and Gabby was just was like, how are this together? And it's like, those are the soft moments that we need to be reminded that Gabby, yes, she's a boss bitch. Yeah, she's a little bit hard.
But that's never going to stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, her heart.
Yeah. And I love that they do that for me and for Galen, our characters as well as brother and sister, because you need that. You need those moments of the family, the child, you know, every aspect of her life needs to coincide. Speaking
of family, someone in the chat room, let me get the name. Hardbody217.
Get it?
Wants to know how you feel about the Hernandez extended family not really being present anymore. Like you had your father played by A. Martinez. Way back when you had a sister.
Yeah.
And right now it's pretty much just Gabby and...
The mother was on the landscape too.
Yeah. And Dario, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, it's tough. It's really tough. You have even matriarch characters that are not right now playing, you know, that are missing in action, that are often boats somewhere or China, I don't know where, France, I don't know, anywhere. Yeah. So it's really hard to incorporate all the characters, you know, as far as writers and directors and everything. So I understand. It hurts me. It really does deeply hurt me that I don't have them, because I think there's a lot of fans that really love that aspect of the Hernandez family.
Oh yeah.
And to see that dynamic and to even have a new family dynamic involved in the town.
Yes.
Exactly.
But we do what we can.
Yeah.
You know?
that could be another digital series on the app.
Yeah, we do what we can.
The Hernandez family.
I know Lauren Coslo's a huge advocate for A. Martinez to come back.
Oh my gosh.
Always fought for him.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've always fought for him. All of us, I think, have always fought for him because he's not only a phenomenal actor, but a phenomenal person.
Human.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you feel about them? JJ and Gabby, they kind of hinted at them, or they were a couple at one time, and now they're kind of in their separate worlds. But someone in the chat room, Orlando Williams, wanted to know the suicide scene with JJ. Personally, I felt that was going to solidify their relationship in some way, and maybe JJ and Gabby would be explored again. It's not really happening, but how was that scene to do? Because that was heavy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a really important scene for Gabby and JJ. Regardless of what came out of it, it needed to happen. They needed to know that they were going to be there for each other in that extremity. In a place where it's more than a friend. You have to just... There's no title there. You just are a person's wall. You're a shoulder. You're everything. You know what I'm saying? You're everything. You're their angel. You're everything. So you and I think it needed to happen because of that. Because it may not be explored again. It may. I don't necessarily know. We need to know what level that friendship could go to. I'm always going to have your back, and that means not only I have your AAA, or I got you when you get locked out. No. No. No, for real.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit there outside of your door and watch you every waking second because I know that you're not all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think that was something that, regardless if they weren't together or whatever, needed to happen. Needed to happen because it establishes that. And now, from there, they can handle anything. They can handle being friends.
Yeah.
They can handle not being friends. They can handle seeing each other. And it's nothing compared to that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a very, like, powerful scene and moment. And it was like this makes sense for Gabby to be the one to come in and console JJ and really, like, take him off the ledge. Now, of course, in the soap world, it spiraled some other stuff to happen. But it was a great moment.
Life, does that not happen in life?
Yeah.
You're with somebody that wants to do something.
Yeah.
That it wants to commit this horrible act. They don't want to be around their family members. So they make the certain decisions to not be around them. So who could really be around there for him other than this other person that just randomly wants to enter this person's life? Hey, I'm giving you this gift that Ariana wrote for you.
Yeah.
This was just coincidence.
Yeah.
He made himself his day where no one would bother him so that he could do this.
Yeah.
And I was there to save him.
Yeah.
That happens in life.
Yeah, it's a beautiful synchronicity. Yeah.
You know, and it's not always going to be your family that saves you.
Yeah.
That's true. Ooh, all right. Well, let's take this phone call because so many people are calling in. We want to get through as many as possible. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Is that you, Sarah?
Hey, Sarah.
Yes.
Hi. This is Sarah Yu. She.
Oh yes, of course.
She's so great. Like and I always say this when she calls in. She used to be very shy and very and now she calls in and she's like, "Hi, this is what I thought. This is my question." So I love that she's coming out of her shell. Well, now Sarah, she's been talking to everybody every week. So now is your chance to talk to Camila, Sarah. So you have a question or comment?
Is my first time talking to you over the phone.
Mm-hmm. What?
So shaking.
Oh, you're good. You're good, sweetie.
You're good. Go ahead.
Well, thank you so much for calling. This is actually, I've seen you a lot on Twitter, so this is awesome for me because this is the first time that I get to hear you on the phone.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Sarah, with your question or comment.
I know that Gabby has a lot of sassiness in her. What kind of sassiness do you like about her?
Do I like about her? Okay, yeah. You know, it's just, I'm pretty sassy in real life.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sassy in real life. And I think that's what I love about her. I think that I bring a lot of my Camila-ness, a lot of what I feel like my mom has instilled in me, and growing up in a Latin background like I did in Miami, Florida, with so many different type of different origins. I mean, I met people from all over the world there, and so I've learned from so many different people how to defend myself in different languages, or how to fend for myself, how to talk with respect, how to present myself. So I think what I love the most about Gabby's sassiness is her confidence.
Mm-hmm.
She exudes this confidence that, you know, no, don't mess with me, because why do you have to mess with me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, just live your life, I'm living mine, you know, kind of thing. And so I love that confidence about her. And if I can really anybody that follows me on Instagram will know I don't really like talking to the camera, because I don't like suggesting things. I don't like telling people like, hey, this, that, or whatever. Like, I just want people to like live their own life and do what's best for them. But if I would say something, I would say that confidence is one of the biggest things that has helped me in my life. With everything. So, yeah.
Well,
I was like working with Tyler Christopher, and that scene when Bethman and Gabby, when Ben kidnapped her and he took out the fire poker out, and
that was
scary.
Like,
her
anger came out.
Her anger came
really phenomenal in that one.
Thank you, Sarah. Her anger really came out on that one, for real. She was not happy about that situation. No, someone was going to mess with the moneymaker, you know? But working with Tyler was amazing. it is what it is when you get to work with one actor and another. I can say I wish Tyler was on as a different character so we could continue working with him. Because he's such a wonderful professional person. Very nice. Somebody that's just, I always, good morning, how are you, asking questions and really caring about other people. Sometimes it's not that there's other people that are just not caring, but there are certain circumstances and storylines where you really have to focus. And he was always super personable. It didn't matter what storyline he was doing. It didn't matter if he had a really rough day or whatever. He was just really nice, and so it was really cool.
He's a good Ohio boy. He was raised in Ohio, so we're good people.
You can tell.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for calling in. We appreciate you, Sarah.
We lost Sarah.
Oh, bye, Sarah.
She says, "Oh no, my call went off."
Uh-oh. Well, we'll take this next caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, my name is Cherise.
Hi, Cherise.
What's your question or comment?
What did you say?
What's your question or comment for Camila?
Okay, so I've got a couple of really deep questions here. First one is, with all the heat processing that happens to your hair on the show, how do you keep it looking so gorgeous and so healthy?
Nice.
Thank you, first of all, for thinking it looks healthy. I'm personally struggling right now with that. I've never, so it was, 2 weeks ago? It was really the first time I dyed my hair. Because I'm getting a lot of gray hair underneath. lots of grays. I'm almost hitting 30. And my mother is 55 and she's 100% gray. Oh, wow. So I know that it's coming. Coming my way. So it was the first time I ever dyed my hair 2 weeks ago, and I'm feeling a different texture. Especially because my hair is processed a lot as far as like heat. I get heat in the morning, heat in the afternoon. Like you said, sometimes I go from curly to straight to curly. I'm looking for products out here. I am looking for healthy, natural products. There are a few that I'm going to be posting because I like to give it a chance. I like to give it a while and see what it does with my hair, because your hair gets used to products and then can kind of just do whatever it wants. So I'm learning a little bit about how my hair is right now because it feels a little damaged. I don't know if you guys have noticed, it's a little short. I had to give it a trim because it was very dead. Yeah. But thank you for that question, because it is something that I'm personally, and it's a first world problem. I get it. I totally get it. But I am struggling with it because I want my hair to look naturally shiny and naturally strong, and I don't want it to be breaking off. I'm also looking into natural supplements. But I have a weird thing about supplements like biotin and things like that that do help your hair growth. Yeah. It's not like you can pick, like, hey, can you just grow up here, please? Like, just grow strong up here. Yeah. No, that thing's going to grow strong here. Everywhere. So I have to be careful because I am a Latin woman. And all of a sudden, Gabby shows up with a mustache. We're like, no, wait, girl. That's a strong hair you got. Strong hair.
It's a Frida look.
So I'm learning about my body, but I'm going to, if you follow my Instagram, @Camila, I'm going to be giving some hair tips coming up. But I do switch one hair tip that I've given my whole life. I continue to use this on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, is I have always 3 different types of shampoo and 2 different types of conditioner that I switch out because, like I said, my hair gets very used to certain types of chemicals or certain types of stripping that occur in different types of shampoos and conditioners. And so I like to scare it and just attack it with different types of levels of oils and acids and things like that, amino acids and things like that. So switch it up.
Look at that.
Oh, well, fabulous. Well, it always looked absolutely gorgeous. Okay, my second question, again, another really deep question, but is James Scott just as good looking in real life as he is on television?
The man is a Greek sculpture. He is I'll tell you this much. I've seen him outside of the show, not like anything planned, just like bumping into him like 5 times in a year, right? It's always been at the gym. It's always at the gym. So you know, he takes care of his body for a reason. You know, he has a super amazing body because he's very healthy about what he eats and how he treats his body, and he definitely takes care of his face. He definitely takes off his makeup after work. You know, there are some people that really do care. Some people just walk out of work with their makeup on their face, but some people really do care. Yeah. And Robert is one of them, and I give him much kudos because that takes a lot of discipline.
Listen, I can attest that he looks real good in person, too.
Oh, heck yes.
Like, real good.
Are we talking about James Scott or Robert Scott?
Robert. Yeah, James Scott.
Oh,
James Scott.
Kidding.
James Scott.
I mean, yes, you're right.
Oh,
absolutely.
EJ?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that man in years.
Different topic.
I heard Scott, and I was like, what?
Oh, like
that one?
Scott.
Yeah, he's always good.
Well, I heard James Scott. Was like, yeah.
I know. I'm trying to think of the last time I heard where he was. I remember he was living in Malibu or something like that.
It's been a while since
I can tell you from meeting him at Day of Days. Yes.
Oh, he's definitely beautiful in person. The man doesn't change as far as like when I met him and I worked with him 5 years ago. When I would see him out before makeup, I was like, "Wait, you already put makeup on him? Like he's already he looks the same. Like, what do you mean? Like he's good? Okay, cool." So yeah, I mean, obviously all the men on our show are.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Delicious.
The men of days.
Yes.
We got Eric Martov, that's like Mr. Take Your Shirt Off.
Yes.
You know, we got
Paul Telfer.
Paul Telfer.
Who's
We've got even my brother, which is the Latino.
Oh, yes.
So I, even like Sonny and Will, these really deliciously beautiful characters. We're lucky. We are very lucky.
And if you follow Chandler on Instagram.
I know sometimes he just posts out of nowhere like 6-pack.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know where that 6-pack came from, but hello.
Or like 8-pack.
Yeah. Listen, I got 1-pack, and I've had that since 1983, so we're good. We are good.
All right, we have a caller.
Right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate you. We're going to try to get through some other ones before we have to wrap this up.
That's not true. You were hard at that.
I try to hold you in here. Good to see you.
Speaking of the men of days, there have been 2 occasions, James Scott reminded me of this, where, I've been watching the show and I see them on and I'm like, oh, they're attractive, and I see the pictures, but when I see them in person, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, one was James Scott. Mm-hmm. The other one was Greg Vaughn.
Exactly.
I saw it and I was like, oh. Mm-hmm. And then I talked to him, Greg, and he has this like, oh yeah, like this great voice, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Charisma.
I keep my composure always.
Yeah.
Because I'm that type of gal. Classy.
I had a crush on Greg when I first got on the show. I was like, I shared an Uber with him. I was like, oh, I can't breathe. I was like, I didn't know I couldn't breathe, but now I can.
We do have a caller on the line. Hey, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Kimberly from Maryland.
Hey, Kimberly. What's your question or comment for Camila?
Hi, Camila.
Hey.
Hi, I've liked you always since One Life to Live when you were Lola.
Thank you.
And my only question is there any guy that you haven't dated on the show that you would like to?
We're talking about Gabby dating, not Camila.
Gabby.
Camila's got a man.
She has a wonderful boyfriend.
I have a boyfriend, 7.5 years.
Who is just as fine.
Thank you. Gabby, let me think. That's an interesting question. You know what's funny? I for some reason kind of, maybe this was Camila, but Camila wanted Gabby to date that really hot Australian guy.
Oh.
That was working in the spa.
What was his name?
The pimp?
No.
Alexander? What was his real name? His real name was Alexander.
Yes.
I don't remember this.
But anyway, it was this Australian hunk that came in. But let me think about it like, a resident character that she has not dated. Interesting. She's dated Chad. She's dated Will. She can't really date Sonny. Victor's out of the question. Let me think. Probably not her lawyer. Probably not her brother.
Probably.
That leaves
Who else is that leave? Paul. Xander. Sandy's a choice.
Yeah.
Sandy could be be hot.
Yeah.
Gabby and Zandy could be hot, like villain.
And especially since they're both kind of like that boss-esque type of a thing, can be in cahoots with each other.
I'm just saying, I think that might be my choice.
That could be interesting.
In the chat room, they're saying the Australian guy was Quinn.
Quinn, no, that was before.
That was before.
Right.
That was way before. I know, that was for the spa. No, I'm talking about the one after. You know who I'm saying.
Yes. Okay, wait. This is. Give me a second. I'm
about to pull up my
phone. He won. I think he won like a contest.
Yes.
That Days did.
Right.
Yes.
I thought he was a doctor. I didn't think he worked at a spa.
Yes, oh, you're right. He was a doctor. I messed that up.
He was a doctor. There's a picture of him. I'm looking at it, but they're not giving him any information. Give me a couple of seconds. She will still like look this up. But yes, that he was amazing.
He was a good looking dude.
He was not bad to look at.
Not at all.
I will say.
Okay, wait. His name was Alexander Brusvitz or something like that.
Well, yeah, he had a very small role, but I'm just saying you could have played on that. And,
he won the contest from Australia to come in and was on Days. It was only for like a short period of time.
Right.
And he was literally like in and out. We blinked and he was gone.
Yeah.
He played Finn. He played.
No, there was two. He played Finn. Quinn are different.
No, Quinn was with Nadia. He was played by
Colin
Foster. No.
Yeah, he played like
a different one.
Son. Yeah.
He was played by Colin Murphy, I think. What's his name?
Colin Murphy was another character played by Justin Melby back in the day.
That him.
This Quinn was played by Bren Foster.
Bren Foster. Okay, then there's him. But we talking about the guy who won, who played Finn, who was an Australian doctor who arrived in Salem to do his residency, specifically to gain skills as a surgeon working under the supervision of Dr. Daniel Jonas.
Babe, I'm so sorry.
Oh, Daniel. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Problem solved. Thank you, Google.
That's right.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Kimberly, for calling in. We appreciate it.
She's still there. Did she bail?
She was just going out to all of this. All right. Thank you so much. We're going to take this other caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. Maybe now. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Dwight Slemons again.
Hey, Dwight. I can already guess what you're going to ask, Dwight. But I'm going to let you ask it. Go.
My question is for Camila.
Yes.
Hi there.
I enjoy you and the Will and Sunny scenes.
Thank you.
They're so much fun. And so what was it like working with Chandler Massey, Freddie Smith, and the whole thing, the storyline with him getting that brain tumor?
Oh.
Pride.
That was a tough one.
That was.
Because we were like, no, not Will again.
Yeah. Well, because of the history, I think as before even Sunny with Gabby and Will, there is so many unsaid things that occur between Gabby and Will.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of like JJ situation where I understand you more than yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I know what you're thinking, I know what you're saying, I know what you're going to say, and it's always comfortable working with them. I'll tell you one thing that happened to me 2 weeks ago. I was having a lot of scenes with a lot of different people, and there are some people that it's just so easy that you can't call it work, you can't call it memorizing, you can't call it anything strenuous. It's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just fun. And we had some scenes that were a little emotional, me and Freddie particularly, that did not have to do with anything that has aired with the storyline with the tumor, but it just has to do with how we work together. That the minute we saw each other, or the minute that I saw his eyes, I didn't have to think. I just started crying. It just was like, I love you.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever you're saying, I love you. I love you as a person. I love you as this character. I love you as this character looking at this other character. I love you as Camila looking at Freddie. I love you in another parallel universe. Yeah. I love you in whatever sense of the world. You know. And,
I have a nickname. I have a nickname for Chandler.
What is it?
Chantilly Blue.
Chantilly Blue. I love it. And it's the same thing with him. It's the same thing. We see each other and we connect because they're so lovely. They're such nice people. We have the history, and we've, you know, when I first started on the show, we were kind of like the young kids. We were like, the three of us were the only really ones that were, you know, Casey Diedrich too, but it was the four of us, and Kate Manzi came a little bit after. And Molly was there as well, but she was, you know, friends even with the older people. She was friends with Eric Marthoff. She was friends with Sean. I mean, can't remember his name right now. The guy that plays Sean.
Brandon Beamer?
Yeah.
No, I'm actually saying his name, Sean Christian.
I was going to say.
So I'm losing my mind. But anyway, the point is that I was really close with Chandler and with Freddie because we were the same age. We were going off to these places. We couldn't really drink, so we were always playing games together in our rooms playing games. And so I just connected with them so much to the level that now I have a scene and it's so easy. I know that it's always going to be fun. It's just literally never going to be a pain in the butt. It's never going to be something weird. It's always going to be comfortable. And I love working with them. The brain tumor scenes were hard, of course, because who wants to talk about that? It's a difficult subject, but at the end of the day, we're crying, and then the minute they yell cut, we're like laughing at each other. We're like, oh my God, you got a booger! You got a booger! You know?
Well, thank you, Dwight, for calling in. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. One more quick question before we have to wrap things up. Gosh, this time goes by so much.
That's quick.
You'll have to come back in as we see like Gabby like go through her stuff. You have to come back in. We'll have to kiki about it. But Red Sox Sarah again wants to know what was the most fun scene that you've ever filmed. She did mention, and this one was actually one of my favorites, the Abby and Gabby belly dancing scene, which I lived for. It was like ready and go, and it's like, and I was like, I know Camila is living her life in this scene right now.
Well, they kind of said at first that Gabby wasn't into it. And I was like, are you serious? You're gonna give me a dance like you're gonna make me act like I don't know what I'm doing. Like, no, are you out of your mind? So I kind of just switched that up there a little bit. Thank you for asking, Sarah. You know what? I always usually say it's my nightmare scene with my action thing or whatever, but I'm gonna say I will say right up there is that belly dancing scene.
Yeah.
And it came out of nowhere, literally out of left field. But Marcy, you've had her in here. She's down for anything.
Oh, yeah.
She's down for anything. The woman's like, oh, you want to go dig a hole in the backyard? Let's go dig a hole. You want to go to the mall? Let's go to the mall. You know, like, she's down for anything. And so I loved her. The minute that they said we were doing that, I turned to her and I was like, oh my God, we need to rehearse this, like, immediately, because I'm not going to be a damn fool in front of 3 million people. No. So we did rehearse. But it came out so
good.
Thank you.
It was really good.
We did rehearse.
Really
we did work on it. We were given it the day before.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, wow.
That was on top of the scenes. We had lots of dialogue with the whole, like, you know, entrepreneur that was there, and then we had to, like, kind of schmooze or whatever. And the whole premise was that Gabby she didn't want to do this for Chad and Abigail, and then after she does it, she kind of realizes that she's really good. She wants to keep doing it. And then she's kind of pushing her like, you're done. Let's go. And it was just so fun to be in those little, you know, costumes with, it's something different. Like you said, it breaks the formula. It's something different. We're not in a super dramatic circumstance. It's a very lively issue, you know, moment, and you have different music, and it was perfect the way that they did it, and the editing, so loved it.
Love it. Well, that is our time, unfortunately.
So many other things to talk about.
I know, but we have to have you in again. Before we go, I just have to say again, what an amazing job you're doing. You are slaying the game.
Thank you.
This week shows that, like, Gabby is like, bitches, She's here. She has arrived.
Watch out, there's
not
some
going
fun
anywhere.
stuff coming out. She's going to be showing her place in Salem.
Oh, we can't wait. We're gonna talk to you all about it as it's coming up.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having me. Maybe next time I'll be in with
Brandon.
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Brandon, who unfortunately couldn't make it. We tried,
We love
but
you.
shout out to you. But before we head out, Michael Mattis, let the kind folks know where they can find you on the social medias.
You can find me on Instagram at MLMattis and Twitter at MLMattis1. I had such a good streak going.
Every week. I don't get it.
I had like 3 weeks where I did it perfectly.
And then on Instagram, you can find me at Chelsea Overrocker, and on Twitter at Chelsea Overrocker.
And you can find me on Twitter at Tammy Gavea and Insta Tammy.Gavea.
And of course, Camila, where can they find you?
On Instagram at Camila and on Twitter at Camila Banus.
And listen, make sure you follow her because not only does she slays in outfits, but she will keep you up to date with what products and stuff you need to be using and stuff. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. And of course, you guys can find all of us on Facebook and Instagram, Dishin Days, or on Twitter, _Dishin Days. And you can find little old me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week for another full recap. Bye. Thank you, Camila.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.